Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Relationship Addiction. Today we have a story from r/infidelity, where this woman cheated on her boyfriend because her affair partner has a sports car. Let's see how this boyfriend moved on. Ex-girlfriend cheated on me with a co-worker. Any tips or just some advice? Anything. So, my ex-girlfriend of 3 years recently cheated on me with her co-worker. When I first met her, she had nothing. No job, barely any money, and no car. She was living with her mother until she got kicked out. This isn't the first time she's jumped from house to house with family members or friends. So, I took her in to live with me at my mother's house. We've been dating for about 9 months when this happened, but we were already very close, and we loved each other. I helped pick her up from school. I gave her a place to stay when she had no job or money. I fought every day with my job to get her to work at my job, and she eventually got hired. I helped teach her how to drive and bring her to do her driver's test to get her license. I was there to bring her to her graduation when she really had no one. Eventually, when she was getting financially stable, she wanted to get a car, and who helped her find a car? Me. It wasn't the best car, but it got her from point A to point B during our 3 years together. We obviously had arguments and ups and down, but that's normal. She also was very bipolar and didn't use much manners with people like I did. So sometimes I thought to myself that she's kind of different from me. During the relationship, there was a lot of arguments, and she was that person that didn't like the silent treatment or didn't like to see me, so I ignored her when we needed to cool down. She would keep poking me and provoking me to keep arguing with her, then all of a sudden get really emotional to the point where she threatened to end herself if I left her. I would admit there was a time I gave her a 1-inch punch to the arm because I was dealing with a spine injury, and she took my phone away from me when I didn't want to argue. I just wanted to look at TikToks, so we don't argue, but she hates the silent treatment. She grabbed me and even digged her nails into my skin so I can let go of my phone. She pulled me and refused to give my phone back while I have so much pain from my spine and sciatic nerve. I wanted to just ignore the situation and let us cool down, but I never ever beat her or mistreated her like she said I did. I regret what I did and always apologized to her and to God. Anyways, fast forward to the situation. She ended up getting depressed and upset from our job because it got so bad, and I agreed with her. So she ended up finding a new job, and I was proud of her. She would work overnight and come back home in the morning. But it started getting a little weird because most couples don't care about not shaving their legs or making sure they're very clean and good looking at times when they're very close, but she made sure she looked amazing and made sure to shave almost every day. Mind you, this is a warehouse job, so there's no point in looking amazing there. It's been a month since she started working there, and all of a sudden, when she started working every day overnight, she had always some excuse or some story on why she's going to work early or coming home late. She looked guilty, but I trusted her, so I didn't question it. That was until one day I started getting these gut feelings like really bad, and I decided to check our tablet and seeing messages of her talking to another guy in a very flirting way, even talking about can't wait to see you later, cuddle with you, and even going out on dates. When I found this out, my world just shattered, and I couldn't believe it. At the time, I was trying to contact her from work, but guess what? She wasn't at work, she was hanging out with him. So my stupid mind at the time got upset and gave her PC a good punch out of anger and confusion. She laughed at me on the phone when I was heartbroken, thinking of all our memories, vacations, our bucket lists. A week later, after kicking her out, she wanted to talk. And we did, but she showed no sympathy and kept denying the cheating, and she was saying that she needs to love herself right now and that the relationship was getting toxic. I wasn't showing her the honeymoon stage anymore, and the reason why this all happened was because of me. But mind you, the weeks before and all the time I took her to sporting events, out to eat, and to the movies, etc. almost every day, even after having surgery. She ended up moving on with this person who is younger than me, and he has a sports car, which she likes all of a sudden, who she barely knew for a month, and she told him that I was abusive and that I never loved her. And she lost weight because she didn't eat, but she never made anything for herself. She always made me prepare her food or prepare her smoothies. My mother lived with us to see all this, and she didn't like the way she treated me. My ex ended up telling me that this guy supposedly was there for her and showed her that he will help fix her and never hurt her. Not only me, but all her friends, and our friends cut ties with her because they knew how she was, and what she did was disrespectful to all of us. They also seen the proof. I eventually blocked her on everything, and she still lies about things with this guy, even though there's proof. Even told him that I'm still currently messaging her at night, when I'm the one who blocked her, and I have all the screenshots of her trying to get to me. So what do you guys think? Am I at fault for this happening? He is just using her as just like she used him. In time, she will become the afterthought just like she did to him. He shouldn't take her back when she tried to come back. I had a somewhat similar thing happen to me with an ex. She went to visit her mom one weekend and was supposed to be back Sunday around lunchtime. By 8 p.m. that evening, she finally got home, and I knew she had cheated. An argument ensued, and she never admitted it. I slept in the guest room. The next morning, we started arguing again, and she left. A week or so later, I find out she actually slept with some guy in the back of her RV4 in the parking lot of some bar after it closed that Saturday when she was at her mom's. Her and this guy stayed together for years and have 2 kids together now. An old friend of mine, who is apparently good friends with her now, messaged me recently and told me he left her. He found out she was cheating on him. What goes around comes around. My husband and I have been together for 9 years, married for 4. We have a 1-year-old and I'm pregnant with our second. He started therapy about a year ago because he has a hard time expressing his emotions and also has suffered from depression on and off since he was a teenager. About 8 months ago, I saw that his therapist, was texting him, and I asked him why he was texting with her and said, I didn't know if it was appropriate, and it made me uncomfortable. He said they were just friends, and I was just being insecure. I trusted that they were having a professional exchange, but in reality, they were sending each other memes, TikToks, songs, articles, and hundreds of text messages. Whenever I would ask him how therapy was going, he would say things like, you wouldn't understand, and I could feel him distancing more emotionally as the months passed. During an argument, he made a comment that he told that I just wouldn't understand. It felt wrong that he was thinking about her when we were arguing. Fast forward 8 months, and I was home one evening. We had gotten new phones, so his old one was on the counter, and something in my gut told me to look at it. I felt horribly guilty, but I knew something was wrong. My stomach literally dropped down to my feet when I discovered the messages. Not only were they so clearly flirty, but they were letting each other know they were thinking about each other. She was telling him very personal things, and they were always talking about how similarly they felt about things and understood each other. Rarely was the conversation related to therapy information. At one point, my husband texted her when we were in an argument, and she suggested that he take some space from me. The worst thing was that he actually entertained it. I was pregnant at that time, which they both knew. I was so confused and disgusted, but I was so scared to say anything. But the next day I was so emotional that I broke down and started crying, and he asked me what was wrong. I said I didn't know how to bring it up, and he legit asked if it was about his therapist. Again, my stomach dropped because he knew exactly what he did, and he literally just ended a session with her. The more I process this, the more confused I am. I can't even begin to explain how disturbing and unethical this relationship was. I'm so mad at my husband and betrayed, but I also feel for him because he was violated and taken advantage of by his therapist. He also lost what he thought was a serious and deep friendship that should have never occurred in the first place. Mentally and emotionally, we have both been set back years by this. I have found myself resorting to self-harm, which has not been an issue since college. Ultimately, I ended up reporting her to her supervisor. I was very conflicted and didn't want to hurt her career, but I can't let this happen to another client or family. My husband and I have decided to pursue couples therapy and try to salvage whatever is left of our marriage, but I know it will never be the same. My priority is our children, and I want them to grow up with their dad being there for every family memory. I never thought I'd be in this situation, but hope our experience will help protect another family from experiencing this heartbreak. Love to all the spouses going through something similar, or even worse. Edit. Am I doing the right thing by just reporting her to her supervisor? Is it wrong to also want to report her to the state? I'm so scared this could happen again. If she gets a new job at a different practice and they don't do their due diligence to follow up with her references, or if her supervisor doesn't want to share that she has a history of unprofessional and unethical behavior. My husband swears there was never anything physical between them, and I do trust that he's telling me the truth. A lot of their sessions were through teletherapy, which I'm really grateful for because I'm worried it could have turned physical, especially if it had been occurring for too much longer. Although we're both a little scared for him to do individual sessions after this experience, we are going to find him a male therapist and have a few sessions together. She isn't married. I know all about her 2 breakups that occurred during the time had seeing her, since my husband was always comforting her and letting her know he was there for her to talk about it, which she inappropriately did. Part of me feels like she wanted him to know she was available. The whole thing makes me sick. I agree we should be reimbursed for the sessions and have couples therapy paid for. We also are going to have to get a nanny to watch our kids when we have to go to sessions, which is really expensive in the city where we live. I guess I'm trying to find compassion for her because I know she also struggles with her mental health. She told my husband so much about it. They were even talking about her seeing her psychotherapist, and my husband was saying he was so excited to hear how her appointment went. So wildly inappropriate. She also has this Instagram account where she posts things about her mental health issues, and my husband was following it. I think it's wildly unprofessional. We're both already on antidepressants, and I'm going to the doctor regularly because I'm pregnant. Makes the whole situation even more sickening because I got pregnant while this was happening. I would report her to whatever official board there is and make sure that she never works in that profession ever again. She should go nuclear and destroy her life because she maybe destroyed other people's lives. She must divorce her husband and take everything from him.